Good morning. Good morning, everybody. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, April 23rd, 2021, Friday, another day of life, and in Bharat, India, another day of COVID progressing speedily. COVID 19, a danger currently in our country, Bharat, India, is spreading very fast, working against our society very fast. Every day, officially, more than 300,000 cases are being registered. Unofficially, nobody knows actual figure, which may be around 5 to 10 lakhs, 500,000 or more than 500,000. Well, very serious situation. We failed to understand COVID-19 at all. We did not understand, and now we have been suffering, and it's joint fault of all in our country, all ranks, public to government, and all. So we did not do what it was supposed to be done. We were careless, very careless. We did not adhere to resolutions of masks, goggles. We did not care for health. Definitely we have to suffer. We are more interested in solemnizing marriages, birthday parties, gatherings, kumbh, and like that. So I should say Bharat India society as a whole is responsible for this havoc which has just started, and how long shall it go, nobody knows. My alerts have gone waste. I have been in analysis for many months, I think from September onwards, but people did not understand. Title today is same, quality, under various topics, that is civil field engineering, designs, construction, organization, communication, coordination, quantity, quality, and why we should be behind quality of concrete standard material. But this is usual topic. This also relates to quality of existence, quality of, I can say, survival. Certificates are received not for showcase. Certificates are received not for showing to others, but for implementation. Whatever certificate one has, that certification must be respected, must be regarded. That's possible only that you have to use it for society in whatever way it is possible. It can be used for educating society or for dissemination of information, because society does not have direct information about what should be done. When I talk of quality, it's not simply spelling of quality, it is contents of quality. In Hindi, in our country, we call it Gunavatta. Gunavatta. I'm just trying to tell what does it mean. Quality is quality. When we say Gunavatta, what does it mean? Guna means high character, positive contents. This means merits. When we say guna, what is merit? Merit means guna. So quality means merit, and lack of quality means demerit. And we talk in English language. Tell me what is merit and what is demerit in this issue or on this subject, in this person. Merits of this person and demerits of this person, merits of this material and demerits of this material, or whatever theory or law or you deal with, whatever. Merits and demerits are considered together. That is what quality means. What is merit in whatever system or individual or you may say, element or material. What are merits and demerits in this formula, in this design, in this practical solution? What are merits and demerits in this construction procedure? Or what are merits and demerits in risk resolutions? Maybe sometime we resolve risks, but it may lead to another risk. That is also practically possible. And reliability as a whole, it's a combination of certain characters, certain quality system, and certain gunavatta, you can say. When I say gunavatta, you consider it's a part of quality, contemplation, and ultimately engineering. And good engineering is accepted, bad engineering is rejected. But it is not done. I have not been finding good engineering for many decades. Engineering has slept somewhere. I don't know where, in which room good engineering has been sleeping. If you know, please tell me. Quality, gunavatta. Easy to say, easy to blame others. Yes, I too am blaming others. And of course, when I say I blame others, I am also part of others, because I am not in isolation. I am with everybody. I am also responsible as a member of this country, our society, and whole world society. I just compare myself when I worked overseas. Lakhs of people worked. I did not do any special, but I can compare to my own personality that I worked, say, in many countries, particularly those countries where civil engineering was important. I don't know now, but from 1981, 82, 83, 84, I worked in two countries. Those were Iraq and Libya. And then I moved to 85 to 89 in Doha. I worked there on building projects. Then I worked in, you can say, I worked in our country as consultant, but did not succeed well for many years. Then I worked in, you can say, I worked in Doha, Qatar again for 1 year. Then I went to UAE, worked there, and of course then back in UAE again. Like this, you can say half of my career, duration of half of my career, practically you can say, I worked overseas and in different durations, with different systems, with different technologies. When I entered, there was no computer. When I entered in Iraq, there was nothing. We used to do calculations by calculator only. There was no computers. We used to draw ourselves. Sometimes I used to work on drawing board to draw bar chart, to calculate taking of quantities manually, sometimes with calculator. I could not see computer in that time, 1981, 82, 83, 84. I studied drawings produced by Libyan consultants, by Iraq consultants. Thousands of drawings I saw. I saw National Bureau drawing of Iraq. I saw drawings of France in Libya. And those drawings were very important. I learned a lot from those drawings, though there was no computer time. And in Qatar itself, I worked for 4 years in one go, and I did not find any computers, only calculators, and all tenders we used to work out on using calculators and quantification on calculators basis. Also, all these casuals we used to draw on drawing board. Lot of time was consumed, of course, but energy was used to learn as well. It to us, not now it is out of imagination. If one has to draw schedule or drawing using drawing board, engineers don't even know what is drawing board now, I think. What's pin, what is drawing board, what's T square, what is set square, what's scale. I think that is remote now, that is a foreign body for current engineers. Well, it's all time, it's social change, professional change. But I was happy in those days because, first of all, practically there was system, but formally there was no system. Like quality, like planning, they were planning engineers, there were other engineers, quality engineers, means we were all, and we did, as an engineer I think there's no field which I left in engineering. Design field, quantification field, or drawing field, surveying field, site field, and you can say, means whatever you can say which is practically accessible by an engineer. I am a product of that hodgepodge, you can say, khichdi you may say, but it's a refined one. We could identify if our calculations resulted wrongly. Now you cannot, because now engineers are product of computers, particularly millennials. Those cannot move without computers, those cannot think without computers. Means their thinking is related to computer knowledge, not to practical mind knowledge. Our thinking was different. We used to imagine everything in mind, calculate in mind approximately. Still I do same. I do not just run behind computers. We use computers because computer is to be used, not to be, a computer requires that it should be used, but now if computer is using us rather than we use computer. This is practically happening everywhere, and that's a result of inefficiency, result of malpractice, you can say. You depend on computer and there's data error. Well, this is procedure, and computer is changing very fast, programs are changing very fast, which is not good in itself, but it keeps on. Is that's business angle, whatever angle it is, but I am different product. I saw a time when there was not even calculator. I used to calculate based on log tables. That's a beautiful, We used to sometimes count on fingers. I have seen those people when I was too young. That lalas, you call them, business people, used to calculate crores and crores on their fingers. My father was not very well educated, but he had calculation power. He taught me mathematics without being educated, you see. Of course, elementary mathematics is like sums or numericals, you can say, related to profit and loss. For example, how many kilogram milk I buy, or what I have to pay, or like this means what is difference between plus and minus, or you can say sum up or reduction or deduction. He used to beat me and teach me. Well, I could not understand that time value of mathematics, but I still remember that. And maybe all your fathers, thousands and lakhs of fathers did like that. I'm not appreciating that, or I'm not depreciating current scenario. Question doesn't arise because it depends upon time. Sometimes something is good in this era, it may not be good in coming time. What was good in 1950s or 60s or 70s, it doesn't mean that should be good now. It may be better or it may be worst. It depends. But we should not forget one thing, that we are human being, a special entity designed by nature, designed by God. When I say nature, this means God or power, whom we don't know that power. Body that exists 1000 years back also exists now. There is no change. Bodies are same, air is same, nature is same. There is no difference. Of course, some impurities have entered, but otherwise, structure of existence is same. You may have whatever facilities, But don't forget major facilities that is permanent, that is ourselves. Computer is out of use after a couple of years, same way car, same way airplane, and same way you can say whatever you produce for a couple of years, it goes obsolete after some time. Actually, this demerit, I should say, this demerit of termination of life of goods or articles creates a problem. It creates a problem that we own responsibility to. Today, plastic is a problem, air pollution is a problem. In fact, society is a problem. Society that existed long back, many decades back, was very strong, physically as well as mentally. However, they were not allowed to study to that level scientifically which was required. They were debarred of studies, that is different. But they were very strong in mind. Of course, language is different. If you see mathematics of some people was very, very strong. If you see thinking capacity of very many people were very strong. Logistical answer very strong. That capacity lacks today. Sometime I met people, that people ask me in metro, I want to go to that area, how should I go? I told him, get down at that stand and go to station. If you can walk, it's just 1.5 kilometers from the, can you walk? Then you can go. He said, what do you mean walk? 1 kilometer, 1.5 kilometers. I can walk 10 kilometers. I'm a farmer. Well, I was happy to hear that, at least, first time in some public place that person was happy to walk 10 kilometers. If you ask some graduate now, some kid now, or some very top class people who don't come out of car except when they reach their gate or at door, they come out of car only. If you ask those people, can you walk? I think that person cannot walk even 10 meters. Forget about half a kilometer, 1 kilometer. That's difference in evolution. You can say this physical activity should increase, but it's happening reverse. And you can take other examples of those countries like USA, like Gulf, or like where all facilities are available. You will find in Gulf every home has 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. Everybody has car, and they feel pride of that. Okay, they should feel pride, they have every right, because they have money. But money is not answer to life. To life, answer is life. To life, answer is health. Answer is safety. Wealth is not answer. But temporary, what we have, we think that is permanent. We forget that body is to be maintained. Quality of body must be achieved, and quality of our biological system can be achieved only if we respect that. We respect that we maintain ourselves healthy, and healthy means mental also. Healthy doesn't mean my leg should be strong or my stomach should be strong. My mind should also be strong. And mind cannot be strong because you drive a car, or you talk a lot on mobile, or you think I am very good manager or organizer, I am CEO of this company, or I am political leader, I am scientist or doctor. Mind can't be strong by that. Books can be read, books can be understood, development can be done. But don't forget, nature works on its own with complete regularity and punctuality and operating a system. That system our body also has. I have full system in my body, and everybody has got that privilege, that God gift. But I am responsible to spoil my body. You are responsible to spoil your body, because body requires some input of energy and use of that energy. We take energy, we keep input, but we don't use that properly. If I always drive a car and I feel that I'm big, I am VIP, I have some status, And it's called foolishness, I should say. Just like always I say, if I am an engineer and somebody asks me, where is your car? You are an engineer, you should have a car. My question is, am I engineer because of car? Or car is there because I am engineer? It's understanding of these two statements, two these questions. If I have a house, this doesn't mean engineer is there because of house, or house is there because of engineer or doctor. Point is there. This wealth has nothing to do with mind. If I have a car, that is a facility only. It doesn't mean it tells me my status. If I have a big house, it doesn't mean that I have a status because of this house. No, this house is just a building, a structure. Car is just a machine. You have to understand that. It's made by human, developed by human. But human body is not developed by human. Mind is not developed by human. We have to differentiate like that, and that's what we can say thinking properties, thinking merits and demerits. If I consider wealth above my own, then I am certainly having some deficiency in my mind. I can say I can't understand what's right or what's wrong. That's what I'm trying to trying to communicate here, that do not overestimate your wealth. Well, wealth is required, body is required more than wealth, and mind is required more than body. Though everything should be in equilibrium position, status, otherwise this can't work. Cost is not always important. Risk is important, of course, for protection, and reliability is very much important. But we have to understand these points. Reliability is important, but analysis is a way to find difficult solutions. Difficulty is there, and we have to find solution for difficulty to make it ease, to you can say remove difficulty. So if we consider quality system for our body, our mind, our life, we have to think first of all for body that we have and mind we have. Both should be in consonance to each other, and there should be no, just like we can say in our machine world, machine designs, resonance. Resonance should not occur, My mind is my wealth, gift of God given to me. It should be used not for making money, but for problem solutions, solving problems. And engineering is that domain where problems are studied and solved. If problem is studied and solved, I can say that is engineering. It may be in whatever field, not only in civil, electrical, mechanical branches of engineering, but everywhere in life. If there is a problem, we have to understand that problem and find a solution, and that is called engineering. Application of solution is engineering. We have to be a little different in this way. Everywhere there is engineering in life. Life is not free of engineering. It may be formal or informal. Social engineering, body engineering, or you can say physical engineering. Physical engineering, when I say, this means branches of engineering which are all physical. I can use my mind energy to whatever extent. There is no bar. As I always say, your mind is a gift. It's free allowance. Your mind is free allowance. It needs very small energy for its continuation of operations, and it never stops working. That's beauty of mind, and that you can say is merit of mind. There is no demerit. Demerit lies with us because I am a body, I am a soul, I want rest, I am tired, I am stressed, I am strained. Very easily we say, oh, I worked for so many hours today and I am strained. You did not work anything. Those people who used to work 12, 14 hours early morning, early night, late night, those farmer people, those working class people, workers, still they work. Of course, the mechanized world, but still they work. Can you compare your capacity to them? Don't compare your wealth to them. Don't compare the fake status to them. Compare power of working. You may be a billionaire or a trillionaire, doesn't mean you are everyone. Yes, you have support of wealth, but not support of health. You see Americans, Gulf people, 40 to 50% are or very fat. Why? Because mechanized world helps them to be fat, to be obvious, abdominous. I am saying health because they were time when they were very slim, because they had to struggle, and that was quality of life. Struggle is quality of life, to be very frank. Those children who are subject to struggle, who are subject to advancement by their own efforts, they are far better than those who have support from their parent of all kinds. If you don't understand struggle, don't understand in negative way, understand in positive way. Merits of struggle, I should say. Without struggle, life cannot move, life cannot be made better. And if you say, no, I want support for every problem I have, I think you are a dummy person. You are a dummy person, you cannot face any challenge. And challenge is very important in our profession of engineering. Challenge means we have to face challenge, which means we have to solve problem. Or you can say challenge is a question, you have to find answer. Challenge is your potential measurement. If I can't face challenge, then what sort of engineer I am? Challenge means requirement. Challenge means a gate to innovation. Challenge means to find possibility out of impossibility. That is challenge. And challenge means engineering world. If there is no challenge, there is no engineering, to be very frank. When I am saying engineering, I stress on that. Means exclusive use of God gift, and that is brain. Because brain cannot be seen, brain cannot be measured, work of brain cannot be evaluated, and brain, as much as it works, it becomes more and more bigger in size, and becomes more and more potential. Those who use brain, they are always hungry to use brain, and brain gives them more and more power. Brain is such an organ in body which gives you thinking and contemplation. Mind is with every body. Even dog has a mind. Every creature has mind. But it is only human being who can use mind to whatever possible extents. And that, I can say, is quality of human being. If you can't use your mind, you have no quality. Because mind is hair on head and up to throat, up to neck. This is only living body, not thinking body. If you take from toe onwards to your genital, and then onwards onto your chest or your heart, arms, legs, knees, all stomach, abdomen, this portion is just biological. This has nothing to do with your brain power. This, of course, draws brain into this, or brain draws energy from this. That is different. But brain means you are human being. You can think, you can find solutions to problems, and your solutions would be based on logical understanding, logical explanation. Quality has many divergences, many concentrations. Both are quality. If you focus on something and think on that, you will reach somewhere in that tunnel which leads where I don't know, but you will get something there. Light in darkness you'll get, illumination in darkness you'll get, stability in storm you'll get there, stability in earthquake situation you'll get there, water in fire you'll find there. This means solutions would be available if you can focus or concentrate, or otherwise you will be in panic if you don't concentrate. then focus on something. You just have a problem, you can't, you won't have even stamina to study that problem, to analyze that problem. And again I say, when we see some problem in structural engineering or civil engineering, we have to start thinking what this problem is all about. Is it really a problem, or we already have a solution for that? We have to raise this question to ourselves. Maybe solution lies somewhere else, we don't know. But if you say no, there's no solution, then we have to understand what problem is. Understanding of problem is also a big issue, because problem exists, we don't understand that. And if we don't understand that, we cannot forgive solution. And that's what happens. As I give example of COVID-19 now in our country, it has been more than a year. COVID has been there. 130 crore people in our country, crores out of them are very brilliant people. I'm not talking of government, I'm talking of people, because government is ignorant. Government is non-existing. People are government. What have you thought of in this more than a year? Nothing. We took everything lightly. We did no administration on public controls because we did not understand problem. And if a few people understand or understood, they did not speak, or they did not, you can say, disseminate their seriousness. I did not see any article many months back or during this 1 year where people are serious, intellectuals speak something, nobody speaks anything. All our institutions have become dumb, all. Because there is some foolish person in our society who wants to do everything its own way, and that's not possible. Health doesn't wait for anyone. If your health deteriorates, only patient suffers, not society. Society suffers only to an extent, okay, I'm regretful, and they simply say RIP, rest in peace. That's only duty of society, you think? Rest in peace, you are saying or no saying has no meaning. You say rest in peace or you don't say rest in peace. Person would rest in peace or not, nobody knows. First of all, we don't know where person goes. So this is all formality, means society has been squished to RIP, that I can say. I don't know why I'm saying this, but that's a fact, because I find always on Facebook, if someone condolence news is there, obituary is there, RIP. Is it only answer? That's what I'm saying. Sometimes we invite problems because of our ignorance, because of our becoming unserious. I used to say this word, unserious, non-serious. We are sleeping society. And this is a fact. Today we are witnessing. We had plenty of time. 1 year is not a small period, this advanced stage. We did not think anything. Really, it's a problem. This is an engineering problem itself, social problem itself, and this is health problem itself. Health and engineering are related. If people are not healthy, you cannot do engineering work. You cannot do, in fact, any work. That's what I'm saying. So don't take it otherwise. COVID-19 is very, very, critical stage now. And still today, till today, we don't know what solution. Where do we stand then? Panic? And it's happening. Panic is ongoing. Panic is more than disease, because we fail to understand. Same I'm saying, we did not do quality work. We did not use quality mind. We were living in a narcotic world, in a fake world. Oh, it's just gone, we have defeated this. Still yesterday I saw some political leader saying, we will defeat it. Defeat whom? What is there? My question is, we will defeat Corona. We will win over Corona. How can you win over Corona if you don't know what is Corona? If you don't identify your enemy, how can you win over him? That's what I'm saying, you have to analyze first without conducting any analysis. If you claim something, then you are nothing more than a foolish person, whoever you are. If mad you are, if you don't understand problem and you have solution, is it really worth to stay that? You don't understand problem, you have no thinking capacity, you have no analytical capacity, you have no contemplation, and you say, I will defeat this. What do you call it? I call it, really, I don't want to use that word. After all, this is society. I think Bigger societies, large societies like ours are irresponsible. I should say that. 130 crore people or 1300 million people are useless. If there is useful, say, maybe 50 lakhs, 1 crore, where are they? I didn't find them anywhere. I tried to see them, I didn't see them. I didn't see any alert issued by them on Facebook or somewhere else. Why they are not concerned? Because we are sleeping society. And this sleeping society cannot raise quality system. You can't raise quality if you sleep. Awareness is required for everything. Education is not awareness, education is a formality. If you are educated in whatever level, it doesn't mean that you are a good person. It doesn't mean that you are a practical person. Where is awareness? I am really surprised that there are millions of engineers in this country, and of course millions health workers. Health workers are doing their job. I appreciate that. Even adverse situations, for last more than a year, they have been working excellently to their capacities. But second part of reliability of society, dependence of society, constitution of society is by engineers, technologists. They can change whole society. Where are they? I didn't find any statement by anyone. After all are sleeping, or they only think of engineering, not more than that. Don't forget, this engineering of society is more important than structural engineering. This is more important than civil engineering. This is much more important than mechanical, electrical engineering. Because those engineering can be handled. But if society breaks, if people die, if something more adverse happens, what is meaning of your engineering and my engineering? If we can't allow people to live safely, this means we are not serious about ourselves. I have not seen any question from any engineer about this. Unfortunately, we are not society. We are selfish people. We don't care what's happening until it happens with us. COVID-19 is not a specific issue. It's issue for all world. It's not state issue, it's not some issue. It's issue for whole world of society, entire society of world. Some are serious, some are not serious. I don't depend on politics. Political governments do not do anything except game plans, involving with game plans. But as citizens of this world, as citizen of my country, I have to analyze, I have to think that what's my duty. At least we can understand what is problem, and we can inform our people what they should do, what they do. Simply saying follow protocol is a solution. People have become, senseless. People have become mind free. Or they think there is no problem. I have seen people, there is nothing, no corona exists. It's all this and that. I'm just giving an example of corona. I'm not talking about corona in this talk, but it's only example I'm giving. What sort of society we are? Are we, or can we say that we are quality society? If you think we can say that, like say, we are then nowhere. We are then nowhere. I'm not blaming anyone here. I am blaming myself. And really, I can say for last about more than 6 months, I have been continuously in touch with data published by government in this regard, and based on that data I kept on issuing every day certain report to people on Facebook, hoping people would read that, government would read that. It brings to me highest degree of disappointment with public as well as with government. If you just give data, and that too on website, why do you think that it shall reach people at large? How many people view or log on to website. Your requirement is that information should be given to people at large and with intensive dissemination. But this didn't happen. More than a year has gone. You can say since March 2020, and today is April 23rd. More than 13 months have gone. What should have happened in these 13 months? We are a country, we are a nation. I think more than 85% people, or at least 75% people, must have been tested by now. Tested of what? Tested of COVID-19. I think if that had been a case, I would be a very happy person that my country has tested 75% people, around 100 crore, you can say, 3/4. This did not happen. This did not happen. In my home, my sister got COVID. My some other relatives got COVID. They all tested themselves and they all treated themselves. There is no aid from any state sector. Well, that is a different case. Who expenses, who takes this responsibility, that's another point. But if we can't engineer testing, is testing that difficult? We can't test people. Why? Why can't we test people? Why could we not test people? Even today, after a lapse of 13 months, around 20% people have been tested. Only 20% people in more than a year, 13 months. We have to test 80% more. This means you need 4 years more or 3 years more to test them. What a shame. What a degree of shame. You have no plan. Where can you say is quality system? And that is only result that we are in panic. Okay, this is testing plan and they are jumping on. We have vaccinated so many people. Vaccinated how many people? 10% till yesterday. Till 22nd April 2021, we have succeeded in inoculation of 10% people, and that inoculation includes both first and second vaccine. This means we started on 16th January, and let us say 16th January to February to March to April to May. 16th January to 16th February, 16th March, 16th April. 4 months. 3 months, I'm sorry. 3 months. 3 months have elapsed. How many percent people we have vaccinated? 10%. That too, 1 and 2. 10% only. This means we need 10 times more, which means 30 months more or 27 months more. How many? 36 months. So 33 months more. Is it practically possible? I don't think so. We don't have that much time. Where do we stand then? This means we have no plans. We have no calculative engineering. We cannot understand engineering because there is no science in this. Just vaccination. We require vaccination availability and we need inoculation. We need implementation. This means we don't have that. Why don't we have that? What answer do we have? All part of gunavatta, all part of quality. This means we have no quality plan to handle this issue. We have no quality plan to handle other issues. Of course, it's a question mark we should raise because we fear something. What do we fear? I don't know. What do we fear? What do you fear? Why do we fear? Maybe you know better. I just gave an example. Just for your reference, because I am a serious person. National issue, international issue, of course, fall in my domain to think on. Everybody has a right to think and a right to propose solutions. And fortunately, we have some media, social media, which equips us to facilitate it. Had it not been there, decisions would have been different. And we have to go to all time to some newspaper, say please publish it, which was very difficult. So at least privilege of publishing has been created, and that can be used and being used, but don't abuse it. People are abusing it for gains of political system. Now, I'm not interested in politics. COVID has said that politicians don't do anything, people don't do anything, and that's the reason COVID has come. And COVID has told us, your life which you felt was very good life, I don't accept that life. That's also another message. Well, you know all this. I need not remind you about that. My purpose was different. It is quality system on engineering, construction, and I think engineering construction means we have to depend on society, and we have to do for society, and society has to draw these products of engineering through engineers. Otherwise, you cannot say we can get it. My purpose is different. I'm just trying to explain. Analysis is very important part of engineering, particularly in construction, in civil, because we have to manufacture ourselves all these structures. We have to build these structures. These structures are not available in the market. We can buy a house, you procure it on a car and bring to your area. It's not possible. Analysis is very much important part of engineering, structure engineering and others engineering. Analysis is done in other fields also, but not like this. I consider analysis as integrated part of my life. Engineering education has taught me structural analysis but also life analysis. Because once you start analysis of something, your mind status changes. And if your mind is now open for analysis, to force you to analyze, you are best person in life. If you just accept everything without understanding that properties of that, criteria of that article are good, and you say yes, this is best without conducting any scrutiny on that, and that scrutiny is called analysis. Every problem must be analyzed. Even solution we get, we have to understand that solution and analyze it further for improvement. Engineering cannot be developed in one go. It develops in stages. Engineering means use of mind, and mind cannot be used for everything in one go. Once it solves problems, then we can integrate those problems by process of synthesis or assembly. And that's very important lies in. It is very easy to criticize others, and I don't want to criticize others, because I won't get anything if I criticize others. Yes, I know my preceders and others, maybe they cause some error in their activities, and do I do same. In my activities, when I conduct my activities, I cause error. That error may be by operation of work, or by my ignorance, or by my abuse of good understanding. Maybe there is lapse in analysis and I make mistakes. That's acceptable. If I can locate mistake and comply it or amend it or correct it. That's where it lies. Quality must be understood very well first. If I am an engineer, though I am, maybe I consider myself engineer, but also I have to think, I have to evaluate my work, I have to evaluate my capacity, what level of engineer I am. I don't care for certificate I got, that is evaluation by others, but what is my self-evaluation, that must be very clear to me, because I am in my control. If I control myself, I control everything. Remember, one individual can do enormous work. One individual can do enormous work if that individual is analytical, that engineer is having willpower, that engineer is determined, devoted, dedicated. That engineer can achieve objectives. How many engineers we have of that capacity? That capacity means useful capacity. Capacity must be strengthened, must be expanded. Capacity cannot be restrained. That capacity I am looking for. I am looking for that response. When somebody finds some problem, that person must try to solve it first. How to open this problem? How to change this wrong work, this wrong act, if it is possible to change? How to keep in mind this danger is coming or may come? Both apply. If I see I'm going to see this danger because of my analytical power, how to protect it from that action, from that adverse action being imposed on this? These points I must have power, I must have potential to study and to correct it. Engineering is production as well as correction. Engineering is production of manufacturing as well as correction. Engineering is use of mind and further mind and further mind based on, what you can say, engineering work, engineering coordination. Engineering coordination is automatic if it works well. It's also dependent if it is applied with analysis. My purpose of quality talk is to give you an impetus that quality is more important than numbers. Quality of food, quality of furniture, quality of your home, quality of your knowledge, and quality of whatever exists there. All are qualities. But individual quality I can consider is very significant. What an individual who is devoted, who is committed, who is determined can do, other one who is non-educated cannot do anything. When I talk of quality, I don't talk of quality of everything but particular. Here I am concerned with construction. Construction, which means production of permanent, non-changeable activities or works. When I say construction, this means structure of whatever kind. Forget finishes currently. Structure is more important than finishes. if a structure is built in, it's produced on site, and all quality measurements are affected with, I can say construction is real. If we lose confidence and construct, that's also dangerous. Danger lies in mind. Danger lies in mind, and whatever danger lies in mind, that must be studied. Because when something lies in mind, this is real. And something lying in body below parts, that's not real. We have to analyze, we have to know how to solve it, how to inculcate that merit into this. Good, how to do it, how to do that. When we say in construction, in structures, I should say that structure is a word where other than mind, other than analysis, other than total understanding, nothing else can work. I don't just run behind formulas or behind theories or behind codes. I just run for thinking first what I have to do, because no subject, no formula, no engineering theory can teach you what to imagine. What to imagine. And if you are successful in doing that, what is solution? That solution is very important part of life. If I have solution, I think I am free from that problem. If I know I got a design from expert, whatever design, and I have to implement that design, I have to think of that. Can I implement myself, or I need some support, some supporting staff to help me? I always talk of quality design construction methods, because construction is very important. Construction means expansion of development, and this means construction is responsibility of whom? It's responsibility of everyone. Sometimes we think construction is only momentarily, and then we have to stop it and let other part of work, implementation comes in. Construction cannot be avoided. It is part of life. You can't avoid this. Even if you want to avoid, you can't avoid this. Yes, you can keep yourself distant from that so that it may not strike you directly. Construction means collection. Construction means using resources to our best use. Construction means transport. Construction means long, thoughtful based activity. I have seen those people who sit and do nothing and they want everything done. I have seen those people who strive very hard for work and do work genuinely. Really, it is wonderful if you can do it. Doing cannot be avoided. In engineering world, doing is a must. If you ignore it, you ignore yourself. Buildings or structures everywhere in the world are solutions, are, you may say, lead. Society is led by that. When I am saying construction of buildings, plant or non-plant area, it's very impossible if you don't understand that. You have to understand that. Designer or prosecutor, both have to understand each other. Just giving some drawings and saying it's over, you do it, that is no solution. Construction is not that easy as some people contemplate, because at every activity, every next moment on construction, we have to think of results seriously. I could not sleep sometimes when I used to supervise any slab cast or where people could result in accident, such activities. Somebody working at height may fall or some other issue happen. These are all very serious issues. If something happens like that, whole area shall be against you because you are not doing anything. That's an important point. When we construct structures or buildings, RCC buildings, we have background thought. We have great thought, great designs are there, great work is there, everything is great there. Now, there is very specific resin injection to leaking joints. See what such basin? Well, I think I've done it. Yes, you've done it, I think, yeah. Okay, let us see this. Testing fresh concrete on site. Just very brief. It's not big, but important, of course. We may say, we have done it again. What it says actually, when we get fresh concrete on site, and concrete is green in this way, it's the green stage of concrete. Generally nowadays, we don't mix concrete on site. In general, we procure from batching plants, from central mixing plants, which are called, automatic mixers based on weigh batching. Based on weigh batching, it is not volume measurements. This concrete is considered very reliable because of its composition, of its ingredients, weight, and we generally get that. We get that in many cubic meters in one go, It can be half cubic meter, but maybe 8, 9, 10, depending on size of transit mixer. And because this is a big quantity in one go, we get so many cubic meter, we have to consume it also that way. If you don't have that much capacity to consume it within a specified time, then we should not order that much concrete. But generally, in quantity concrete like slabs, pouring, or foundations, this can be big quantity and fast delivery is available. It's machines that help us for pouring. But when we get this, when we mix this concrete at batching plant, there itself we have to make sure that this shall be stable in coming 2 or 3 hours. Because you have started using batching plant, you have to consume it also. At batching plant itself, all tests are done. Of course, calibration of mixer test everything for ratio, volume ratio or weigh ratio. But even after that, monitoring is required, studies required. When we mix it, we know temperature of concrete there. We take slump and find slump value. Of course, for ordinary society, that's very long procedure. But for society that is professional, that's not big issue. We have to test temperature of concrete when it comes. We have to test slump of concrete. We have to test also some other property required. We test it. We test something within certain limits and allow this, okay, you go to site and pour it. It's easy. These tests are generally taken, nothing specific in them. When material is delivered, site laboratory shall be informed or must be there. They must know what specifications they are going to use. And all these tests they would do. There is no way that they don't do. If these tests are not done, we can't say of following quality system. Our document that comes with transit mixer should give complete details that they have checked or that's available. What mix they are using, what temperature they are working with, what is future problem possible, what is solution for that. Supporting systems they use, of course. That all looks professional, that there's water tank, there's solar system or mixer is working. And they consider that everything. Voice raising is very important. Voice suppression does not mean anything. Now, truck mixer shall discharge its delivery into concrete pump after all such site tests are over. Before these tests are over, concrete cannot be allowed to be delivered to site. That is also a point to understand. Everybody understands this, but still, it's better to explain that way. Concrete is such a permanent material which has no limit, which goes on for centuries sometimes. You cannot say, I'm doing concrete for 6 months, I'll take it out. I'll do it for 1 year and take it out. If you say that, I don't have answer to that question. Until it is very temporary concrete like grinding or somewhere. Or they are making good some road, some floor. It's very minor. But as far as the structure is concerned, we should be very certain about what we have done. The truck shall be out to deliver concrete after all such tests are over. Upon commencement of a pour, concrete pump operator flushed its line with fresh concrete. We should be very clear about this. Very, very clear. Let me come back in a few minutes. Meanwhile, enjoy. testing, concreting, everything that we have to do must be in consonance with everyone. So we get concrete, we test it and deliver to site. And upon this, we can say a sample of concrete circulated through concrete pump is taken from end of concrete pump line. Pump operation shall then cease until laboratory technicians has completed this testing. Hold on, what it says. Truck mixer discharge is delivery into concrete pump after all such site tests are completed. Upon commencement of a pour, concrete pump operator shall flush its line with fresh concrete. Upon commencement of pour, concrete pump operator shall flush its line with fresh concrete. Initial discharge from concrete pump line shall be discarded. Initial discharge means some concrete because segregated one. A sample of concrete circulated through concrete pump shall be taken from end of concrete pump line. Pumping operation shall then cease until laboratory technician has completed its testing. Temperature of concrete sample shall be determined in accordance with requirement of ASTM C1064. Slump of concrete sample shall be conducted according to STM 143743. These details shall be recorded upon test record format quality control. Once these test results have been established, conforming to specific requirements, concrete pumping operation can proceed with. Now, temperatures and slump are important to justify acceptance of delivery of concrete. If slump is not to mark and temperature, concretes you can say sample, and of course temperatures and whatever tests are required for receiving concrete are not within limits, question arises. Now, once these test results have been established conforming to specific requirements, concrete pumping operation can proceed with. Subsequent deliveries of fresh concrete shall follow a similar procedure, whatever truck comes in. Exemption being the initial discharge of subsequent truck mixtures shall not be discarded. Exemption being that initial discharge of subsequent truck mixers shall not be discarded. Laboratory technician shall take concrete samples from random truck mixers for purpose of concrete test cubes. Frequency of these concrete test cubes shall be 3 cubes per 100 cubic meter of delivered concrete. Additional concrete cube shall be taken as directed by laboratory in charge for conducting further tests upon hardened cubes. Now, we know what is required here: truck mixer, concrete pump, slump cone, thermometers, cube molds, etc. etc. Now, let's go further a little to find something more. Let me show this closing a structural gap on roof or wall base slab. Before that, there is one method that is here for repair to lift cladding panel admission building. I think it's very much important structurally. Yes, we are talking of administration building substructure, which we had talked at length. We had talked about this, but it's not finished yet because Actually, it includes everything for building. So I'm saying substructure, but it includes. Now, seawater basin, concrete is very important. Let's understand this. This is, of course, very small, but all this concrete is done, that's more important. It simply says that pre-structural activities. I have shown you seawater. You know it in many talks. We have talked about this. Seawater basin shall be set out by surveyor according to drawings. It is seawater basin, which is big one, big size, 100 meters by 90 meters. The watering arrangement, if required, shall be installed to work out round clock, a week, 7 days a week, with water disposed to some isolated, some from where removed by transporting to designated location, and it depends on what type of soil exists. It may be clay soil or sandy soil. It depends. If it is clay soil, which is porous in nature, not permeable, different type of dewatering is to be done. And if it's sandy soil, we use different method, making some sump in trench, mass trench, and giving gradient flow off. So water is collected in sump, from where using a submersible pump, discharge of water flowing into that sump can be bailed out into certain other chamber or manhole, from where it is disposed of permanently. That is where sandy soil exists, means water can move in. It can be, it's called permeable soil, no porous soil. While case of porous soil, that's clay, is different, where water got no permeability, and water is contained in soil, but it's not movable, it's not mobile. So in case of clay soil, dewatering is different, and that we have to know from soil investigation report. That would tell us what we have to do. We have to use either dewatering system based on well point system, or we have to use dewatering system based on submersible pump in sump. These are two major methods. Clay soil means in also deep structures like this, we have to use benching method of excavation, and maybe 2 or 3 benching we have to provide in whole depth. And installation, we have to install well point system. Wells doesn't mean well, it means just pipes having certain filter below, header up, very slim pipes 2 inches, or drilled in, and circuit is completed around, maybe 1 stage, 2 stage, 3 stage, depending on depth of excavation and how many benches we have used. Benching means a horizontal portion and then a slant portion. This benching is considered working area around that excavation which we are going to construct, we are going to do work in. So these wells are inserted and circuited to, connected to, using their headers to certain pump, so that it is not free water that moves, it's water that's pumped out or sucked in from porous contents of soil. This very small quantity discharge, not very turbulent type, just like happens in sandy soil. This is a little time consuming method, well point system, and we have to keep a watch that these pumps keep on functioning all hours, from where this can be thrown out, and all these pumps keep on working, the systems keep on working until we come out of that structure. It may be sandy soil or it may be clay soil. So dewatering arrangement, if so required, shall be installed to work out round clock for continuous weeks, with water disposed to some isolated sump in case of sand soil, or by using well point system installation and pumping out. Generally Miller pumps were used sometimes, having that capacity to do this. It's very headers are connected over all wells. Headers 4 inches are connected to all wells, and then to pumps that work to pull out water, and this continues without stop. We can say area then excavated in stages to correct lines and levels. Formation levels shall be approved by geotechnical engineer, because what sort of water is there, water contents are there, what's level of that stratification, that must be made sure that this is suitable for starting work. Formation levels to be approved by experts, geotechnical experts. Appropriate safe bearing capacity testing or other properties shall be conducted. We need solution, because we must have that strength of soil, capacity of soil below at foundation level, which is designed one. Appropriate safe bearing capacity testing of formation based, and it must be in conformance to requirement. In case safe bearing capacity does not indicate to be within prescribed limits, soil improvement must be carried out and soil bearing test reconducted. That's only solution, soil improvement. And generally in clay soils it is in almost cases done, or we have to use raft foundation or some other alternative which is imaginary at this stage, but when you do job you will find generally raft is used or some other method is used. In case safe bearing capacity does not indicate to be within prescribed limits, soil improvement shall be carried out and soil bearing test reconducted. Construction of seawater basin RCC structures shall be divided into following categories. You know why? Let me show you once again. If I can show sketch 13, I don't know if it's with me or no now. Sketch number 64A, 50, 53. It's not here. It's not here. I just wanted to show you for clarity, because we are doing it and everybody should know what I'm talking. That's important point here. Let me go through and see if I can show you again, because just referring to past does not mean anything. Management documents here. I got method statements here. We got chapters here. Sketches here. Sketches here. And I think we should get 13. Seawater basin. That's here. So I got it. So this is what we are talking, you see. We are talking something here. This is plan. I'm sorry. This is plan. This is low level. This is lower. I mean, this is higher level. This is lower level. This is slope, and this is seawater basin. 100 by 80 or 90. This is low, higher level, this is lower level. I think this is 10 meters or this is 6 meters, like that. And it's 500 mm thickness raft here. 500 to 1000 can be. And this is what we are talking of. Expansion joint was 7.5 meter on base slab. Seawater basin section for cooling water distribution to industry within facility. As a pump house here for transportation of water. Seawater basin plan for cooling water distribution to industry within facility. And safety requirements are mentioned here. Whatever excavation depth is, all excavation safety required, dewatering safety required. These are safety requirements. Excavation safety is required. Then dewatering may be required, blinding safety required, concrete production safety required, foundation safety procedures, RCC wall safety procedures, walls working, platform, pump room, wall safety, all internal external scaffolding, concrete production to RCC safe surface safety required, safety during water tightness test. Is what's that? What we're talking about walking is that. Says construction seawater basin structure divided into the following categories. These are blinding concrete and protective membrane laying. Blinding concrete and protective membrane laying, which is some area. This is blinding concrete here. You can see in this profile, blinding concrete on all over area. This is blinding and excavation and water protection here. Protection is there itself on that. That's what I'm talking of. And then we can say base slab construction, which is here. Base slab here. This is base slab. I'm sorry, this is base slab. This is base slab construction. And then it says shall have upright walls construction, which is here. Upright walls construction. These are walls here. These are walls here, and these are, in fact, these are walls. All here. These are walls here. So what it says? Pump house roof slab construction, and this is your pump house. Here it is. Now, there are four structures: blinding concrete and membrane, and base slab, walls, and pump house. Now, blinding concrete and protective membrane. Blinding concrete and protective membrane. Shear key shall be excavated to correct line and level. It is given in design, that's why it's given here. So shear key shall be excavated to correct lines and levels. A suitable site fabricated formwork system shall be adopted for this element. Site fabricated and not proprietary one. Suitable site fabricated formwork to be adopted for this element. Now, using traditional plywood with timber batten construction, formwork shear key shall be formed. Okay, that's fine. Means plywood you can take 18 mm thick, commercial not, or otherwise marine plywood. Using traditional plywood with timber scantling and battens construction, formwork plates, shear key shall be formed. This section of construction includes outside toe blinding plus requires 300 mm membrane lap area. Alright. Now a further 1 meter section of blinding to inside of shear key shall provide level for internal blinding slabs. Well, this depends on details. I am just giving you information. I don't have section of that. Finish to all this blinding for below slab. Finish to all these blindings shall be carried out in accordance with membrane manufacturer's requirements. What sort of finish is required from this blinding? So let's say smooth surface, and this membrane, soil protection membrane can be applied according to meeting requirements of what manufacturer recommends, which includes chamfers, surface being smooth without unevenness and no protrusion that may require grinding, etc. As work progresses, as work progresses. A reservoir or basin, internal blinding for below slabs shall be cast to correct levels in base sizes that do not conflict with base slab construction. Joints layout. When higher level area has been completed, blinding shall then continue to lower areas. All this is sequence. Now in conjunction with these activities, a dewatering system shall be incorporated that should remove water ingress from working faces if required, not as otherwise, depending on what water level is, what's flow of water level. Where water has been allowed to stand, all soft areas shall be excavated and removed from site. This is imagination if it is allowed. A suitable drainage system at low level also in continuation of higher level shall be provided. Procedure of constructing shear key to these lower areas in blinding layer shall be as previously described. Water curing of blinding concrete that we have laid shall be conducted for 24 hours or more. Work of protection membrane shall be started or effected by approved applicator only, or whatever team you have for application of that. Generally, it is done by your people if they are trained, because this is not complete system, but it is according to manufacturer's instructions or details, commencing with application of primer, followed with self-adhesive membrane being laid as appropriate. I repeat, work of curing of blinding concrete to be conducted for 24 hours. Work of protection membrane shall be effected by approved applicator or your own trained team or crew in compliance to manufacturer's instructions or details, commencing with application of primer followed by self-adhesive membrane application, this laid as appropriate. Vendor or his approved site representative shall monitor application of membrane system for purpose of warranty, if any it applies. Concrete protection or waterproofing membrane work may also be carried out by site personnel after involved personnel have been imparted training by occupational demonstration on site by vendors specialist under instruction. This was blinding concrete and water protection. Soil concrete protection, or you may say waterproofing, whatever you say. This is fundamental work, original work, where structure hasn't started yet. We have prepared ground for receiving our concrete base slab. It's called base slab. Until now we are doing below slab work at formation level. We have reached formation level for base slab. Reinforcement of floor slab sections shall be assembled carefully to avoid damage to membrane. Membrane cannot be damaged. If it's old type, it can be covered with some material, or if it's a dense, heavy duty, it should not be damaged, that's all. Now, water stop requirement to line the design profile shall be fabricated and installed according to IFC drawing details, jointing fabrication, fusion, welding, complying to manufacturer's details. Because we already laid reinforcement to floor slab sections, as I said, to be placed carefully to avoid damage to membrane. And then we have to provide construction joint. It just says water stop means construction joint. This PVC water stop requirement in line to design profile be fabricated and installed in its profile. Or we may say joint fabrication, or what drawings state mandate fusion welding comply to manufacture details. You can say preparation of base slab part is over. Now, because the steel has been placed and water bar also has been placed, the required formwork to base floor slab sections shall be constructed, fabricated from traditional Marion plywood 18 to 20 mm thick and soft wooden battens 50 to 75 mm thick or 75 mm 4 meters long, whatever you have. We have to fix we have to fix formwork for slab, sides formwork. A sequence for construction of this base of floor slab panel shall be discussed and agreed between or among contractor, engineer, etc., etc. You may say how to do this construction of slab, which may be given after discussion into method statement, which is applicable, and then it is complied with. Cathodic protection, non-critical components items shall be installed and continuity test details of which shall be recorded. Non-critical means using bosses in walls itself or base itself, not critical but non-critical. Cathodic protection component shall be installed and continuity tests detailed of which tests shall be recorded. Prior to placement of concrete to base slab or floor slab section, engineer, site engineer, contractor, inspectors, quality people shall inspect sections for designs and specification compliance, meeting in line to all drawing requirements. Errors shall be rectified if we discover and if pointed out by quality leader during site examination. Engineer or contractor ABC QC shall be requested for inspection respecting works prepared for this particular section of structure. So what we have done? We have excavated, we have prepared everything, we have blinded, we have applied waterproofing, membrane, and then we put steel reinforcement, and we have done what? We have done different buildings of turning pit, turning range, or longer systems. Now can say, let's go further. Upon approval to place, what we have done? We have placed concrete, we have placed steel, and we have placed side vertical formwork, and we are looking for metal to come in. Now, upon approval to place or pour concrete from EPC contractor, engineer, structural concrete shall be ordered to be procured and placed accordingly, meeting procedures of concrete placement in case of involved structural member item. Upon approval to place pour concrete from whoever is responsible for this approval. After your approval, order shall be placed for procurement of concrete, and which meets procedures of concrete is meant in case of involved structural members. It is not very fast. This concrete is quantity wise more. Curing of slab sections shall be carried out according to specifications and approved method. Formwork shall be removed after specified period has been over. All surface defects shall be inspected. All surface of concrete shall be inspected and defects observed by all responsible professionals who may agree on correct repair procedures to be applied for remedy. Curing shall continue to be in line to defined requirements without any lapse. So we say, after inspecting surface that we produce, we shall inspect and make sure there's no defect, and whatever defects are revealed, all will agree how to work, by which method we have to repair them, and that should be consistently applied, and curing to continue in line to defined specifications without any lapse of time. And this sequence shall continue for working each floor base slab section until all slabs have been poured similarly. That's a point we have to understand. This very, very important here. Defects rectification is very important because this is structural concrete and defects cannot be allowed in this. Ultimately, this is a water retaining top of slab. Where specific joint details between base of floor slab sections are shown on drawings. Specific joint details between base floor slab sections are shown. These shall be included on while carrying out preparatory works. Where base section occurs on a slab, slope, various sections shall be fixed and vibrated to Now, I see where specific joint details between base slab sections are shown on IFC drawings. Those details shall be included on while carrying out preparatory works. Where base section occurs on a slope, various sections shall be fixed and vibrated in careful control operation using opening on top formwork of slope, which portion should be used for pouring concrete as well as vibrating through. This is very important point here. Where base section occurs on slope, various sections shall be fixed and vibrated in careful controlled operation using opening on top formwork of slope, which portion should be used for pouring concrete as well as vibrating. You have seen this sketch. You will see there's a slope here is talking of that one. This slope is talking of what it says, how it works. Talking of this one. So this portion was shuttered, the top one also, but with openings, or is available. This top portion was required to be cleared. You can say in this slab we have to put covers slab on top and do it. That's what I say. Where base sections occurs on slab, various sections, various positions shall be fixed and vibrated in careful control operation using opening on top formwork of slope, which portion shall be used for pouring concrete as well as vibrating through. Finishing to correct lines and levels shall be conducted using an aluminum straightedge. Now let us talk of walls. We will remember everything, will recollect all later. Wall, which is vertical element and which is related to construction joint itself, water bar itself. Wall pour section shall be constructed according to drawings, which indicates location of moment joints and other joints such as contraction joint and construction joints. So moment joint and construction joint and also construction joints. CJ. Approved proprietary formwork system shall be used for sections. Drawings respecting system shall be available on site, duly approved for preparatory works construction. Scaffolding details drawing and calculation shall be provided because scaffolding is required for walls, and inside wall formwork shall be erected and braced in compliance to shop drawings. Fixing details for push, pull, strong back. Fixing details for push, pull, strong backs shall be via pre-drilled expansion bolt onto floor slab sections. Fixing details of push, pull, strong backs shall be via pre-drilled expansion bolt onto floor slab section. Fabricated reinforcement shall be erected, placed in accordance to IFC drawing. Fabricated reinforcement shall be erected in line to meeting IFC drawings requirements. Water stop accessories shall be included Okay. You can say so. Wall pores section shall be constructed per drawings which indicates location of movement joints, MJs and other joints such as contraction and construction joints, CJs. Approved proprietary formwork shall be used for screens for sections of walls, not your own but proprietary formwork when that goes to regulations of every aspect of soil. No. Wall pour section shall be constructed on according to IFC details which indicates location of movement joint, MJs, other joints such as contraction and construction joints, CJ. Now proprietary work shall be used for this section. Drawing respecting system shall be available on site to be approved. Scaffolding shall be erected according to requirement. Inside wall formwork shall be erected and braced in compliance to shop drawing. Fixing details or push pull or others. Alright, see what to do with this. Just one second. So we have done this. Now what we expected here, we got it here. Well, so we have to work on walls. We have to fix formwork according to proprietary fitness, and we have to provide water reinforcement, fabricated reinforcement, erection, and water stop accessories for construction joints in wall itself. Water stop accessories shall be included within wall sections at this stage, and all water stop accessories shall be positioned and jointed in strict conformance with vendor's instructions. Reinforcement and all accessories shall be inspected and approved prior to fixing of outside formwork closure. Because wall has both sides formwork, so one can go on and other can be done only when all inspections have been conducted. Formwork shall be aligned and checked for completeness or according to drawings. All lines of formwork should be straight, in position and in plumb, and all works must be done according to formwork's requirement so that it doesn't open during pouring and it remains intact even after removal of shutters. Formwork shall be aligned and checked for complete work or completeness, we call it, by engineer. Placement of concrete shall be conducted after approval is done. Pour rate and placement criteria shall be defined by designer or level of layer, thickness of layer. Height of wall be poured to criteria indicated by vendor, but each layer cannot exceed 450 mm maximum to allow effective vibration to poured layer as well as interlocking previous layer of concrete. Curing of wall section shall be done in accordance with approved method, and removal of formwork shall be done in accordance with specified duration of post-pour. Striking forms shall be done in a safe and controlled sequence, complying with all safety instructions. Now, surface when you open form, that's called green concrete, shall be inspected for possible defects to view, and if so, repair method shall be agreed and applied accordingly. Each wall section shall follow foregoing sequence of construction. Joint details be provided in accordance with relevant drawings. Details sequence of wall pour shall be provided by contractor to conform to specifications. Casting times. Wall is quite high and it is very important that whatever designs of wall is taken should be resistant to forces, horizontal pressures that are delivered to it, that are imposed upon it by concrete. Not only delivery pressure but also opening of forms must be avoided, and because it is water structure, we have to be very careful about that. Height is more, 6 to 10 meters, so we have to take into our consideration pressure on wall. If we take say 10 meters height, just for calculation purpose I am saying, it's maybe 50 meters or 50 centimeters, or whatever thickness it is, we can find total volume in 1 meter length. Let us assume it is 50 centimeters. It's only assumption, it may be 80, maybe whatever. I'm just assuming that. Half a meter and 10 meters high, let us say. It may be more. Half a meter, I'm just assuming. What it says, I'm not sure. Let's say something that is, well, it's not given here. In fact, this may be given somewhere. It's not given here, but it should be given. Well, no problem. Let us say it is 1 meter, 80 centimeter, whatever it is. Let's assume 1 meter, for example. Let us assume, it's an assumption. It's not that it's going to work like that. 10 meters means 10 meters height and 1 by 1. So it is 10 cubic meter 10 cubic meter in 10 meters. This means 5 cubic meter force this way and 5 cubic meter force this way. Quite big force. Just for assumptions, 5 cubic meter means 10 cubic meter is 225 tons. So 12 tons coming this end and 12 tons coming this end. Our system of this within 1 meter should be resistant to this force. That's important because CP is very, if CP is not very, is quite big here, it may be, there's no, not like we consider a point is something, that's 1 point minus 3 or 1 plus 3. This force means shall be taken by tie bolts, by a strong plate, which is not plywood, we can't recommend here. It's proprietary system of wall, possibly different types of plates with great structural steel angles sections. And we use them, and we should be strong enough to resist this force. That's the point here we have to take into our consideration. Most important point, because wall is under pressure, it must be clearly understood while checking that. And not only that, we have to do it exactly. We have to keep thicker covers inside due to water retaining structure, and these should also be intact, and there may be proper bosses etc. for this tie bolts, so that we can use these pipe sleeves fill in properly at later stage, because these tie rods, steel members shall be out, and those can be filled in properly with different types of approved material. Sequence of wall pours shall be provided by contractor to conform to specifications, casting times. Pump area, suspended slab. Pump area, suspended slab is off water. Roof slab over pump area shall be constructed in line to design requirements. Yes, everything has to be constructed design requirements. There is no way we can go against it. Main activities regarding foundations and supporting walls have already been carried out when walls pouring is over. Only down stand, up stand beams, either it is down stand or up stand, whatever it is, only down stand or up stand beams and portion of suspended slab shall be required to be prepared for pouring concrete. Scaffolding shall be erected on working site to use for fixing working platform. Supporting system has to be provided below slab according to, we can say lock, cup lock system or some other structural framework, while outside should be working platforms and also safe cup lock system. Now, if you have taken this formwork supporting system from third party, then third party delivered proprietary formwork shall be used to work on this slab. Approved design respecting slab supporting system of scaffolding as provided by vendor shall be complied with on site, which after further action would be certified by vendor's engineer as third party ownership of, and making sure that work has been done in compliance to whatever design was provided, which is better if you have taken that, because that vendor must have calculated all forces coming onto those supporting system. Fabricated reinforcement bars shall be placed as designed on, and All inserts shall be placed in as required, inspected prior to commence all pouring operation. Engineering inspection shall be conducted, QC inspection, engineering whatever. After satisfactory inspection, approved. After satisfactory inspection, approval shall be obtained for concrete work. Pouring of concrete shall be planned and carried out in line to approved specific method statement of how to pour this portion. Complete plan must be prepared. Completed structure after pouring shall be filled with clean water to test for the tightness according to BS 8007. Integrity of structure verification, you can say. And upon completion of basin reservoir structure, application of protective coating internally shall be applied. As for this application shall include all sealants, expansion and contraction joints. Backfill around structure shall be conducted according to specification requirements, and each layer shall be tested as work proceeds. This is all water retaining structure. Crane is required, concrete pump, concrete trucks, diverting system, hand tools, etc. are required for this. As we said, plan of this slab is also like some, but it's big concrete, 90 meters long or 80 meters long and 10 meters wide. You see this size of here is 80 meters this way, and it is 10 meters this way, 800 square meters. 800 square meter, maybe slab 20 or how much. So it's also big quantity, big slab, and must be, we have to understand how to pour it. We have to reflect on that plan with a statement. How many joints are required or not required to cast one slab, because it's big one, though it's in the same range, 18 to 10. That method statement must be obliged with for purpose of this pour, and that's very much important because it's structural pour, of course, above water, but contains water. It's important structure. All seawater basin, concrete that we're talking of, are important structures. You have to think of, you have to clear off, and that's what you say. This was brief on water retaining structures of seawater basin. This is very important for everyone. So you don't experience that, but it's very important because it covers construction joints, movement joints, contraction joints, proprietary formwork, scaffoldings, chemical application, sealants, everything, water test. Well, I think this leaves nothing. That's water stop also. It's very important work, structure, and very significant one we have to take into our construction mind. It's, such activities are not available everywhere. Though you may not construct throughout life, or you may construct many such, depends where you work, in which project. Such water retaining structures like this basin or swimming pools or sumps or lagoons. There are many small or big projects which require such facilities. Such facilities are required, that we must think from quality view, design view, construction view, method statements view, and all cost consideration, risk consideration, reliability consideration. We have to think in, after all, engineering consideration. Can't deny this fact that such methods, such projects are very interesting, not from money earning point of view, but from engineering viewpoint, application viewpoint. Means concreting is such a word. Concrete technology lies in such a world where you can enhance your knowledge, practical knowledge. Theory, we know theories. We know everything about theory. What we don't know is real application, which can be known only after being exposed to such projects, and which by chance you are lucky you may get exposure to. It's by chance. Sometimes we get, sometimes we don't. But exposure is exposure. Opportunity is opportunity. Everybody cannot get it. Those who get it are lucky, fortunate. I shared this with some of my colleagues on that project. I shared this as a coordinator, office engineer, as a member of team, technical team. I had chance to go through, though such information was not available everywhere. Something was tested, something was tried, something was used, duly specified. This is such a world where ready-made is not available. Where ready-made is not available, we have to learn something based on experience. Just like we took exam, we just tried how to calculate evaporation, which is not given in any formula. Quantity of evaporation, because when you conduct water test of such big volume, fall of water is to be known, of standstill mass of water, standstill water, fall of water, drop of water level during specified period. Testing period must be known, and during that period there are certain chances that evaporation also happens. So evaporation quantity cannot be included in drop, so it is to be deducted. How to calculate that? No such formula exists. So experiment requires to be conducted simultaneously. So that is only tentative, but we can't conduct very big experiment. What we did, we placed just one kind of symbolic toy, symbolic, you can say, tray filled with water, just to know what level falls in that, which can be equated to evaporation loss, and that level evaporation loss has to be deducted from water drop in reservoir or basin to know exact loss. It's kind of experience that's not exact, but it is nearly approximately acceptable. That's a kind of experience. In water testing is not very common. In water retaining it is. You have to test water in this pool, water tightness test from walls and bases. Also some chambers which are underground, and also this pump house and swimming pools. I did septic tank as well. You can say many such opportunities to learn. Though this is a real education, you can say, must be fully regarded. And if you don't, we cause error. What should I say? I relate like this. So we move on. Quality has to move on. Design has to be implemented. Construction is to be executed. Thinking is to be made. Contemplation is to be created. Methods to be created and written. Application has to be done. Analysis has to be done. Synthesis has to be done. And work has to be done. Quality has to be achieved. That's all I can say. Tell me if there's something else with you. Maybe it's very, very boring, of course. It's boring, I know. But reality cannot be denied. Reality cannot be pushed back. Facts cannot be pushed back. Quality, systems, individual, element, design, construction, method statement are cost, time, risk, reliability, thinking. So many and so much application of engineering that is called must be respected. If you can't respect, there is no engineering then. Engineering cannot be done for namesake. It has to be done for real sake, for reality's sake.